Young movie star. Let's go.
Kimberly says, hyped to hopefully work with you. Did you fill out an application, Kimberly? I don't remember if I saw that. Did we speak? I honestly it's difficult for me to keep track. I speak to a lot of people on a daily basis. Um, did I just book a call with you? I think I did. Yes, Kim. I think the name's throwing me off because I saw Kim in my phone, and that's Kimberly. Yes, we have a call tomorrow. Okay, I've had a long day. Bear with me. It's all good. Yes, we talked today. Okay, got it. Yeah, the username was throwing me off there for a second. My apologies. But yeah, now super excited to speak tomorrow. Okay, so we're gonna get this rolling here. I don't want to waste anyone's time. Let's get this episode rolling in 3, 2, 1. Boom. What is up, squad? Welcome back to another episode of the Shift Your Mind, Change Your Life podcast. This is your boy, Coach Sal. Let's freaking get it. In today's episode, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips, 1, 2, 3, on how to lose body fat and tone up. Now, in my opinion, I don't really believe that toning up is a real word, but a lot of my clients like to use that, especially my ladies. So this is geared more towards the women, but if you are a male listening and watching to this, you obviously can still get some value too. I'm just geared specifically towards speaking with women and working with them a little bit more closely. Okay, so first tip here, listen up, take some notes. Okay, number 1, consume at least 100 grams of protein per day. Now, you guys have probably heard this before, but if you haven't, let's break this down here for a second. So protein is important for a bunch of reasons, including muscle growth and fat loss, helping the recovery process. I'm sure you guys are aware of that. But I think the kicker here is tracking your calories using MyFitnessPal. So if you guys aren't aware, if you go to the App Store and you download MyFitnessPal, it will actually help you track your calories. And in doing so, you're able to see if you're under or overeating on a consistent basis. Single-handedly is probably one of the best tools that you could use in the fitness space in order to make sure that you are progressing towards your goals and seeing the results that you want. So if you don't know how much you're consuming, then how do you know where you're at? And how do you know if you need to make adjustments to that? You don't, because you're just kind of, I'll make you guys a good analogy with this. Okay. Think of it this way. If you think of a dartboard, obviously you're going to be better at throwing the darts if you're looking at it as opposed to your eyes closed. So the analogy I'm trying to make here is that if you're not tracking your calories, you're essentially throwing darts at the board blindly. Does that make sense? Oh, we got one of my clients here. Perva, what's going on? Let's go. Thank you for tuning in. I fucking appreciate you. So I'm going to be giving you guys here tonight 3 tips how to lose body fat and tone up, specifically for my ladies. So let's keep this rolling. On that same token, if you're not tracking, it's pretty difficult to understand if you're either under-eating or overeating. As a coach, that's one of the biggest things that I focus on inside of my program, is to make sure that you're tracking those freaking calories consistently. Now, you may think, hey, that's a little tedious. I don't know if I have the time for that, because that's the kicker too. First thing I always hear is, I don't really have the time for that. Well, I'll give you guys a hack, actually. If you batch work it, so what I mean by that is if you food shop, right? Let's say you food shop and you meal prep, whenever it is, it doesn't really matter what day. But if you do that and you just scan all the barcodes of that food at once, you have your whole week's worth of food ready to go. And what you can do is, if you eat the same things consistently, you could literally save your meals on the apps. So it makes it super simple, and you could literally just tap it and it's done in 2 minutes. So this whole I don't have the time thing, it's really BS in my opinion, because we all have the same 24 hours. It comes down to priorities and how you decide to use that. And that's a choice that's in your control. And at the end of the day, let's face it, we all fall victim to scrolling on social media one way or not. So let's face it, you have the time, make the effort, because I think the more that you do that, the more you will see the value and the better results you will get. Okay. So I think that's a huge, huge portion. And think about it this way too. That decision, that singular decision of tracking your calories consistently can compound for days, weeks, months, years at a time. So zoom out for a second, right? Hear me out. Zoom out and think about it from that perspective. Think about if you were making a wrong decision every single day for years without knowing it. I'm gonna let that sit there for a second. Then come back to me. It's fucking crazy, right? Like, how do you know? You don't know what you don't know. Does that make sense? Are you guys hearing me clearly? If you guys are hearing me clearly, you're getting value and this makes sense to you, drop some freaking emojis in the comments. I like to engage with you guys because, one, it helps you retain a little bit more and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable instead of just listening to me speak all the time. So that's what I'll say on that. I need to get a sip really quick. Number 2, the second tip here to losing body fat and toning up your body, okay, is to go for a walk after meals, if possible. I'm going to break this down for you guys, okay? Does that make sense? Are we clear? Going for a walk after a meal, if that's possible? Okay, we're going to break that down here as my podcast is giving me all kinds of issues here. But whatever, let's do it. We're right there. Okay, boom. Yeah, so second point would be to go for a walk after a meal. Now, why is that important? Because it's going to help aid in the digestion process of breaking down those nutrients that you are consuming throughout the day. It's going to help improve your sleeping patterns as well. There's a lot of scientific stuff behind that. I'm not going to get into that today because it's going to take a lot longer than I expected. And I like to keep these short, quick, 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes tops. So the reason for that is to make sure that you're helping your body properly digest that when sitting on the couch. And that's also going to help you sleep better. It's going to help eliminate waste throughout the body. All of these things. And it can be literally as simple as just going outside and walking for 15, 20 minutes after a meal. And I think the more, here's the kicker. You ready for this? The more that you do that, the more that you practice that consistently, the better you will look and you will feel, especially from women too. We don't have to get crazy fancy here. You know, I think like our society as a whole has like in love with this whole like fitness influencer culture that you see on Instagram and all these fancy workouts and all this shit. And it's like, hey, like honestly, let's just stick to the basics here. You know, let's not complicate it so much because it works. No reason to really make it super complicated, right? So the next point to that, if your work schedule does not allow you to go for a walk, because let's say you're not able to maybe leave the office or you work from home and you got some kids, maybe you take that 20 minutes and you wake up a little earlier and you do it first thing in the morning before other people wake up, before you have to be at work. Is that unrealistic to say? Probably not. And at the end of the day, let's face it, if you wanted it bad enough, you will do what it takes. You know, like think this way. You know, we line up at the stores for Black Friday for these sales and do all these kinds of things. We bend over backwards, hand over fist to accommodate everybody, but we don't take the time to prioritize our health, our mind, and our body. Why? Can we explain that? Can someone explain that in the comments here? Okay, if you're watching this on the live stream, let me know. If you're tuning into the audio-only replay, send me a message. I would love to get back because it's something that really frustrates me as a coach, is that as a society, as people, you know, all these justifications to do all of these things that really aren't serving us. But when it comes time to prioritize our own mental, physical health, we have an excuse. I don't have the time. Well, Sally, you don't understand. You know, I'm just too busy. It doesn't make sense. And if you want it, you will make it happen. Be as simple as waking up 20 minutes earlier and using that time to get some steps in. You do that consistently and you track your calories, you will literally see progress. That's a fact if you're consistent. I'm giving you guys 3 tips to lose body fat that you can implement today and tone up your body. Because, right, we all have the same 24 hours here. Number 3, focusing on strength training more so over cardio. Okay, now, I'm not hating on cardio. I do believe that there's a time and a place for it. Now, if you guys have followed me for a little bit, you may feel that I kind of shit on cardio a little bit. But I do think there's a time and a place for it. But I will say I am more fixated on lifting weights. Why? Because you legitimately will burn more calories in that process than running in itself. And simultaneously with lifting those weights and doing strength training, you will also sculpt and tone your body. And for my ladies, I know that that's what you guys want. The ladies want to sculpt and tone. I hear that over and over again. How do you do that? You need to lift weights and do strength training. The whole Peloton thing in Orange Theory, it's great. I'm not really hating on it. But if you want like that swimsuit physique, you know, the magazine cover body, you're not going to get that by riding the Peloton. We're doing Orange Theory. I hate to break it to you, and especially with like the mainstream media, it's like all the hype is like Peloton, these commercials, and you know all this shit. Like I'm not hating on it. I'm just saying like it really doesn't correlate. Now I know that Peloton has like some workouts and some other things too. Like again, I'm not shitting on it. I'm just saying I've came across a lot of women that I've been working with who want a certain result, whether it be growing the glutes, toning the abs, sculpting the arms, etc. That's going to yield strength training. Does that make sense? You're going to have to lift weights. And I know the misconception is that you guys feel, hey, well, I think we're going to get bulky if I do that. You couldn't get bulky lifting weights if you tried. Honestly, I'm going to be transparent and say that. Even if you fucking tried to, you probably couldn't do it because it's that difficult. It's that challenging. It has to be calculated, followed for that long of a period of time in order for that to really become a reality. And a lot of these bikini model competitors that you see are taking all kinds of things realistically anyway. It's very rare that you see someone in a natural state at that level of physique. And if they have, they've been at it for a decade plus, guarantee you. Right? Now, obviously, it depends on your goals, but I really do believe that this is the answer compared to hours on the treadmill. And this is a common theme that I see with a lot of women is the overindulgence with the cardio, the lack of calories, and the lack of strength training. And it's something that as a coach, I like to fix, or I should say, I enjoy fixing because I know that it fucking works. I've seen it over and over and over again, every single time. I know that that's the answer, especially, ladies, if you guys want that toned swimsuit physique, that's what it takes. So I'm actually going to give you guys some more actionable value here. So I think a great starting point is the standard push-pull leg split. So let's break it down really quick. For an example, let's say Monday you did chest, shoulders, traps, triceps, however you want to break it down. It depends on your schedule and what you're able to stick to. So a program, a split is great, but it needs to be sustainable for you. And that's where it comes to opening your mind a little bit and trying different things and not getting so fixated on a certain approach. It's why I believe in coaching. So example movements for your chest would be a dumbbell, I can't even speak sometimes. Dumbbell, chest press, maybe a seated cable fly, body weight dips. Now, if you guys have more questions on that and you want to see some more movements, send me a message. My inbox is always open because it's kind of difficult for me to demonstrate a lot of movements. I actually did a live stream inside my paid community this morning for my clients demonstrating a few movements. So that was something that I definitely offer inside of my freaking program. So that's that. We're going to keep it rolling here. So in splits, typical splits, let's say Tuesday you did back, biceps, traps, Wednesday legs, quads, hamstrings, glutes, calves. Maybe Thursday you did an active. This is a great point too. With the active rest days, those are days that you would go for a long walk, maybe do some yoga, maybe prioritize your meal prep. Just because you're not training doesn't mean you're not in the right direction. You know, making sure you're prioritizing your sleeping patterns, getting a lot of water, maybe lining up your supplements week. There's always work to be done. And I think when you could shift your perspective on that, things start to change. You could repeat that process over and over again until you hit a plateau, and then you could reach out to a coach like myself. No, I'm just kidding. All seriousness, though. Yo, I cracked myself up. I'm shot. But last point here, guys, as I wrap up here tonight, I don't think that your workout should be more than 45 minutes to an hour. Realistically, outside of it could be more catabolic, or in simpler terms, it'd be more detrimental and be causing you more harm than good than being outside of that window. So I think 45 minutes to an hour is a good range. And honestly, you'd be surprised with what you could do from home with either your body weight, a light pair of dumbbells, or resistance bands. I have plenty of women clients who train from home and get great results and crush it and love it. And I feel like it works well with their schedule. They wake up a half hour early for work and they just do it in the living room. Boom, done. Okay. So that's what I'll say on that. Now, I'm just going to leave it at that. Short and sweet. Hope you guys got some value. If you did, shoot me a message. If you have any other questions, feel free to reach out. That is it. That is all. Boom. Okay, so that's it for the podcast. Instagram, what's popping? LinkedIn, YouTube, what is good? How the fuck are we doing? Let's get it. I'm going to leave this open for a sec. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the chat. Going to post this up really quick. Damn, that's like really close. Yeah, so what I do with these live streams, guys, for those who are just tuning in or maybe don't pop into these frequently, I do live streams and I simultaneously record my podcast. So if you guys wanted to check out my podcast, the link is in my bio on my Instagram. If you go to the link tree, it literally says my podcast, and you can click on that. I think I have like 65 episodes out. They're usually about like 5 minutes long, pretty short and sweet. I am working on outsourcing that a little bit and getting someone to edit them up because it'll sound a little better that way. Because sometimes, like, I pause and connection breaks or whatever. So I'm working on that too. I'm always working on things. I'm always working, but I do record video and I repurpose the podcast. So if you guys want some free value, I've recorded a ton of fucking episodes over the last year. So definitely go check it out. You'd honestly could learn a lot of shit. So, I mean, whenever I drive, I don't listen to it anymore, especially if I'm alone. It's always a podcast. It's always a phone call. I don't really like listening to music anymore. I guess I'm getting older now that I'm going on 26 and 25 years old, so that's just kind of where I'm at. That's my personal opinion. I'm just rambling here right now. Like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know. I got a couple people here. I got 3 on Instagram, got a few over here on Facebook. If you guys have any questions, let me know. If not, I'm going to wrap it up because I got to go get another fucking meal in because your boy's on prep and I'm starving. I only have a certain amount of calories in the day. Any questions? Going once, going twice. 3, 2, nothing. No questions. Cool. So I'll have the best night ever. Peace and love. Any questions? My inbox is always open, and I'll talk to you guys. Peace.